Mpu Sindok stands as a truly significant figure in the history of ancient Java. He was a king who made a bold and transformative decision. This decision would reshape the political and cultural landscape of the island. Mpu Sindok is primarily remembered as the monarch who moved the capital of the MEDANG kingdom. He shifted it from its long-established heartland in central Java to a new base in East Java. This move was not just a change of address. It marked the beginning of a new dynasty, and a new chapter for Javanese civilization, an era that would see East Java rise in prominence for centuries to come. His reign signaled resilience and adaptation in a time of great change. The importance of Mpu Sindok in the Chronicle of Nusantara, the Indonesian archipelago, cannot be overstated. He was more than just a ruler, he was a founder. By establishing the new center of power in East Java, he laid the groundwork for future powerful kingdoms like Kediri, Singkasari, and ultimately Majapahit. His reign, which began around 929 CE, is often considered the start of the Isyana dynasty, named after his royal title, Sri Isyana Wikramadharmotunggadewa. This dynasty would continue to rule for several generations, ensuring the continuity of Javanese royal traditions and furthering the development of its unique culture and societal structures, distinct from its central Javanese predecessors, yet deeply connected. Before Mpu Sindok's pivotal move, the MEDANG kingdom, also known as Mataram, had flourished in central Java for centuries. This region was rich with fertile volcanic soil, supporting a large population and sophisticated agricultural practices. It was here that magnificent temples like Borobudur and Prambanan were constructed, testaments to the power, wealth, and religious devotion of the Sanjaya and Sailendra dynasties. These earlier rulers had established a complex administration, a vibrant artistic tradition, and extensive trade networks. Understanding this central Javanese legacy is crucial to appreciating the magnitude of Mpu Sindok's decision to relocate the kingdom's heart. The reasons for such a drastic change must have been compelling and urgent. The emergence of Mpu Sindok onto the political stage occurred during a period that remains somewhat debated by historians. Central Java, despite its past glories, might have been facing significant challenges. These could have ranged from internal power struggles within the ruling elite to external pressures from other regional powers, such as the Srivijaya Maritime Empire based in Sumatra. Furthermore, the looming threat of natural disasters, particularly volcanic eruptions from Mount Merapi, was a constant reality. It was against this backdrop of potential instability and environmental hazards that Mpu Sindok rose, first as a high-ranking official, and then critically, as the king who would steer MEDANG towards a new destiny. The decision to move the entire center of a kingdom is monumental. For Mpu Sindok and the MEDANG kingdom, the reasons for relocating from Central Java to East Java were likely numerous and complex. One of the most widely accepted theories points towards a catastrophic natural disaster. Many scholars believe that a massive eruption of Mount Merapi, or possibly another nearby volcano, devastated the core region of MEDANG in Central Java. Such an event would have caused widespread destruction, loss of life, and rendered agricultural lands infertile. This would have made the region unsustainable for supporting the kingdom's population and forced a desperate search for a new, safer home. Beyond the immediate threat of volcanic eruptions, other factors probably contributed to the strategic decision to move eastward. Political instability or internal strife within Central Java could have weakened the kingdom, making a fresh start appealing. There might have also been increasing pressure from the powerful Srivijayan Empire, which dominated maritime trade routes in the region. Shifting the capital further inland and to the east could have been a defensive strategy to reduce Srivijaya's influence or direct military threat. Moreover, East Java offered new economic opportunities, including fertile river valleys like the Brantas River Basin, which were ideal for wet rice agriculture, and could support a thriving population, as well as access to eastern trade routes. The process of moving the kingdom's capital would have been an enormous logistical undertaking. It involved not just the king and his royal court, but also a significant portion of the population, including officials, priests, and artisans. They would have had to transport valuable regalia and religious artifacts, administrative records, and essential supplies. This migration likely occurred over a period, possibly in stages, rather than as a single event. The journey itself would have been arduous, traversing difficult terrain and potentially facing various challenges. The successful execution of such a large-scale relocation speaks volumes about Mpu Sindok's leadership capabilities and the organization of the MEDANG state at the time. East Java, specifically the Brantas River Valley area around present-day Jombang and Madiun, became the new heartland. This region offered several advantages. The Brantas River provided a reliable water source for irrigation, crucial for rice cultivation, which was the backbone of the economy. The land was fertile and less prone to volcanic devastation. Furthermore, the location offered better access to the eastern parts of the archipelago and its trade networks, potentially opening up new avenues for prosperity and influence. Mpu Sindok established his new capital, named Watugalo, according to some inscriptions, laying the foundation for East Java's golden age. Mpu Sindok's family background and his path to the throne are subjects of scholarly discussion, pieced together from various inscriptions. He was not initially in the direct line of succession of the preceding Sanjaya dynasty kings who ruled Medang in central Java. However, he was a very high-ranking official, holding the powerful position of Rakai Mahamantri I Hino under previous rulers, King Daksa and King Tulodong. This position was akin to a chief minister or a key royal advisor, indicating he was already deeply involved in the governance of the kingdom. His marriage to Sri Parameswari Dayakb, who was likely a princess from the royal family, further solidified his connection to the ruling elite and provided a legitimate claim. His ascent to the supreme authority as king seems to have occurred around the year 929 CE. The circumstances of this transition are not entirely clear, but it likely happened amidst the turmoil that prompted the move to East Java. Perhaps the previous king perished in a disaster, or was unable to lead the migration effectively, creating a power vacuum that Mpu Sindok, with his experience and royal connections, was well positioned to fill. He adopted the regnal title Sri Maharaja Rakhino Sri Isyana Wikramadharma Tungewa. The Isyana part of his name became the basis for the Isyana dynasty, marking a new royal lineage that he founded in East Java, distinct from the Sanjayas of Central Java. Our understanding of Mpu Sindok's reign is heavily reliant on the numerous stone inscriptions, or prasasti, that he issued. These inscriptions are invaluable primary historical sources, providing direct evidence of his rule, his policies, and the society of his time. Without these stone records, Mpu Sindok might have remained a shadowy figure in history. The prasasti were typically official decrees, often commemorating the establishment of Sima lands, tax-free areas granted to religious institutions or communities for specific services. They detail the boundaries of these lands, the obligations of the recipients, and the rituals performed, offering glimpses into the legal, economic, and religious life of 10th century East Java. Several important inscriptions from Mpu Sindok's time provide crucial information. For example, the Turian inscription, dated 929 CE, mentions the king's order to grant Sima status to the village of Turian. The Anjuk Ladang inscription, from 937 CE and found near Nganjuk, is particularly significant. It commemorates the establishment of a monument, a Jayastamba or victory monument, and the granting of privileges to the people of Anjuk Ladang for their services in repelling an enemy attack, possibly from Srivijaya or local rivals. These prasasti not only record official acts but also list officials, specify dates using the Saka calendar, and sometimes even mention curses against those who might violate the decrees, reinforcing their legal and sacred authority. One of the most notable achievements of Mpu Sindok's reign was the successful establishment and consolidation of the Medang kingdom in its new East Javanese territory. He provided stability and continuity during a period of profound crisis and transition. By moving the kingdom, he ensured its survival and laid the foundation for its future growth and prosperity. His administration seems to have been effective in organizing the new territories, promoting agriculture and maintaining order. He managed to create a new center of power that would become the dominant force in Java for centuries, demonstrating remarkable leadership and vision in navigating his kingdom through challenging times. Mpu Sindok's era is also recognized for its religious tolerance. While he himself was a devout Shaivite Hindu, there is evidence that Buddhism also continued to thrive under his rule. Inscriptions sometimes mention Buddhist establishments or officials, suggesting a climate of religious coexistence rather than persecution. This tolerance was characteristic of earlier Javanese kingdoms, and Mpu Sindok appears to have continued this tradition. Such an environment allowed for diverse religious and philosophical ideas to flourish, contributing to the rich cultural tapestry of ancient Java and fostering social harmony within his realm. The cultural heritage of Mpu Sindok's reign represents a continuation of classical Javanese traditions developed in central Java, but it also began to show distinct East Javanese characteristics. Art, architecture, and literature continued to develop, although perhaps with less monumental temple construction compared to the preceding era. The language used in inscriptions, Old Javanese, remained the medium of official communication and literature. His reign ensured that the rich cultural legacy of MEDANG was not lost during the migration, but was instead transplanted and adapted to its new environment, forming the basis for the later cultural flourishing of East Javanese kingdoms. After Mpu Sindok's death, he was succeeded by his daughter, Sri Isyana Tunggawijaya. She ruled alongside her husband, Sri Lokapala. This continued the Isyana dynasty that Mpu Sindok had founded. Mpu Sindok's reign is profoundly important in the history of Nusantara because it marked a critical turning point. His decision to move the kingdom ensured the survival of Javanese civilization in a new heartland, paving the way for the rise of subsequent powerful East Javanese kingdoms. He was a figure of resilience, adaptation, and visionary leadership, whose actions had long-lasting consequences for the political and cultural development of Java, and by extension, Indonesia.